So the initial report was for Sophie, but then we realized that father had primary custody over the son, so we sent him with grandpa, and we convinced mother to let 12-year-old go with grandma as well.
Okay. Is there any issue about maybe drugs and things of that nature? Was that discussed?
So Miss Sophie, the daughter, the 12-year-old, advised that her and Miss Hewitt are prescribed Adderall. I believe Miss Hewitt has a slow releasing Adderall, and Miss Sophie has a fast releasing Adderall. Her mother started abusing her prescription of Adderall. She went back to the doctor and advised him of it, and due to that, the doctor stopped the medication for Adderall for the daughter, according to the daughter's statements.
Okay. And so have you been back into the home after that day that you visited it?
I have not, no
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. And as far as you know, do you know anything about the DCS situation, the case?
I have not followed up with it. I do plan on asking, I think their case manager is Misty.
Okay.
How's it going? But they haven't called me or asked me anything about it.
Okay. And so, but that situation resulted in the two children being moved over to the maternal grandfather. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
to his dad, I believe. We requested DCS to come out that day.
Okay.
They did not find it probable to come out, enough reason to come out.
Okay.
So they spoke with Miss Hewitt, and they spoke with, and we kind of, Misty, I believe, convinced her to let Miss Sophie go with the boy to their grandfather's.
Okay. So there was enough concern there that you all decided to have the children taken away
Due
from
to the
that
statements of the
home.
child of what she was saying was happening, and her emotional state, and then the house condition, I believe that DCS should have came out that day. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to tell the court about this situation?
Yeah, ma'am.
That's all the questions I have, Judge.
Ms. Hewitt, you have the right to ask this officer questions, but it must be in a question form. Do you want to ask a question?
No, sir.
All right. Officer, it's my understanding that you contacted DCS, but they decided it was not, for some reason, they did not come out?
Yes, sir.
They didn't give you a reason?
No, they said, can she go somewhere else, the 12-year-old?
I understand they're somewhat overwhelmed, but basically, that's why she went to live with her grandfather or stay with her grandfather?
Yes. So DCS was able to convince the mother to just let her go for the weekend and the son to the grandfather's. But then the mother stated that the grandfather's also abusive as well. So, it was in a bad situation, and I believe DCS should have came out, but they didn't find enough probable cause to come out fast enough, I guess.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Are we releasing him for?
Yes, Judge, thank
You
you.
may go about
Thank
your
you,
business.
officer.
Thank you, sir.
I would report to the court, Judge, as an officer of the court, that there is a DCS case that they're handling the Sophie mother situation. Judge, my
Is
next.
Sophie the child that was here in the courtroom?
That was here, yes, Judge, yes.
All right, call your next witness.
Miss Elizabeth Wires, she's also outside. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth. Thank you for coming out today. Would you state your name for the record, please?
My name is Elizabeth Nicole Wires.
Okay. If you can speak up a little bit louder.
Yes, sorry.
can-
My name is Elizabeth Nicole Wires.
Ms. Wiley, if you'll pull the base of that, grab a hold of the base of that thing, the very bottom. Now pull it towards you. There you go.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Okay. And so how are you related to the parties here today?
I'm not related to Amy, but I'm related to her daughter. So I am Sophie's cousin.
Okay. And so are you the sister of Sophie's father? Is that right?
Sophie's father is my uncle.
Sophie's father is your uncle. Okay. And so have you known Sophie and Miss Hewitt for a while now?
Yes,
How long
before,
have you known them?
so when Amy was pregnant with Sophie, that's when I first met her, and so I've known them Sophie's whole life.
Okay. And have you been around Ashton as well, the 4-year-old boy?
Yes, ma'am, off and on.
Off and on, okay. And have you been to Miss Hewitt's home?
Yes.
Okay. How often would you go there?
Not very often, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. It just depends on how often I see Sophie that year. Most of the time, I don't usually step inside her home. I usually just go to pick Sophie up.
Okay, so you would pick Sophie up to have some time with her, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So did you maintain a relationship with Sophie?
Yes.
You and her have a good relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have phone calls as well?
Yes.
Okay. And so when was the last time that you went there to Miss Hewitt's home?
I don't know the exact date. I would say it was probably maybe 4 weeks ago, 3
Okay.
or 4 weeks ago.
Okay. Judge, if we could have Ms. Wires look at the photos that we entered into the exhibit. I'd like for you to take a look at those photos and see if you could identify them, if they're familiar to you.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do you know who took those photos?
I took the photos of the bathroom, and then I had Sophie take the photos of the rest of the house.
Okay. And were those photos taken just within the past month here?
Yes.
In August? Okay.
Yes.
And so those photos, do they depict what you would usually see in Ms. Hewitt's home when you go there?
Yes, ma'am.
Pretty much for how long now? A year, 2 years, 3 years?
I can recall it was probably a couple years back when I delivered a vanity to Miss Hewitt's house for Sophie for Christmas, and the state of her home was still pretty close to this.
Okay.
So it's always been.
Been that way?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And so you had, did you have some concerns about Sophie's welfare here recently in August?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the court about what you know about Sophie's situation at Miss Hewitt's home?
I do know that her mother is very verbally abusive towards her. When I was on maternity leave, I talked to Sophie a lot on the phone, and Ashton was still in Amy's house at that time.
That hearing had a little bit of everything. Judge David Wolfe presided over the continuation of the custody case between Mr. Fenton and Ms. Hewitt, and the testimony painted a sobering picture of home conditions, family dynamics, and child safety. On began with further questioning of Officer LePaber, who had previously testified about the state of Hewitt's home. He reiterated that clutter, chemicals, and the emotional state of the children had raised red flags. He also revealed that Sophie, the 12-year-old, told him her mother had been misusing her prescribed Adderall, which led a doctor to discontinue Sophie's medication altogether. Though DCS declined to intervene immediately, the officer said he believed they should have acted faster, and that ultimately both children were sent to stay with their grandfather. His demeanor was steady and factual, making clear that the concern was serious. The court then heard from Elizabeth Wires, Sophie's cousin. She testified that she had known Sophie since birth and maintained regular contact, often picking her up for visits. She confirmed she had taken photos of the home in August, with Sophie taking additional ones, and that the pictures accurately reflected what she had seen inside. According to Wires, the home had been in that state for years, cluttered and unclean, with little improvement over time. She described Miss Hewitt as verbally abusive towards Sophie, recounting frequent negative comments and emotional strain. Her testimony was calm but candid, underscoring her concern for Sophie's well-being. Throughout, Judge Wolfe kept the proceedings organized and professional. He allowed testimony to flow but stepped in to clarify relationships and timelines, making sure the record was clear. He also reminded Miss Hewitt of her right to question witnesses, though she often declined, highlighting the difficulty of self-representation in such a serious matter. The courtroom atmosphere was serious and heavy. Witnesses were cooperative and direct, painting a consistent picture of instability in the home. Miss Hewitt appeared defensive and isolated, but listened carefully. Mr. Fenton and his counsel remained steady, building their case methodically. Judge Wolfe's tone was firm but patient, focused on credibility, evidence, and the best interests of the children rather than rhetoric. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.